tonight we are discussing the third annual Ghana Policy Fair. I can't believe it's the third one already, considering that we've been discussing previous ones. They say a year flies by really quickly. The Information Minister, Mr. Fritz Bafo, launched it last Thursday, and basically it's for 6 days. It's under the theme Building Together in a Better Ghana. And of course, basically for Greater Accra, where LMDAs and MMDAs will be brought together under one umbrella, with some topics and some personalities to lead some discussions, and for us to also do a general assessment on what is happening to us in Greater Accra. Basically, it's a third, as I have said, and in the studio with us on my immediate left, Mr. Eric Osei Owusu is Chief Executive, National Food Company, NAFCO. Thank you for coming, sir.
Thank you.
And from the far end of the table, Mr. Stephen Blay is a coordinator of the third Ghana Policy Fair. Thank you for coming as well. And of course, I'm sure you have some views on the matter. You can send them right away to 1760 by text across all mobile networks. Remember, a text message will cost you 30 pesos to send. If you're on Facebook, it's facebook.com/multi-tvpm express. Third annual Ghana Policy Fair is what we're discussing. Let me begin with the coordinator of the show and ask him, really, what do we hope to attain with the third one, and what do you make of the first two?
Great. We cannot talk of the third one without considering what took place during the first two. In the first two, the first one was in 2010, and that was the beginning. Although we achieved a lot, but we felt 2011, which was the second, was an improvement. Just because the 2010 one, about 7,000 people participated, and basically Ghana had then had oil at that time, so all emphasis was on oil and energy. In 2011, we expanded, and basic areas, major aspects of our national economy, like the agri sector, educational sector, and all the other major sectors of the economy were also considered. And in that, we had more than 13,000 people also participating. We have, as you said, so soon we've entered the third one. And the third one, as you saw the opening today, promises to be very great. Under it, we are going to, under the team, we are saying we are going to build together under a better Ghana. And under that, major issues will also be considered. And basically, we are going to consider how Ghanaians could take advantage of the current economic dispensation in order to improve upon their standards of living.
I'll stay with you for now and ask you, are we able to gauge really the benefits of such fairs? Are you able to point at something? You mentioned the participation of a number of people, but really, are you able to say that this is the benefit that such a fair, organized under the auspices of the Ministry of Information, really brought to bear on, say, our economy, our daily lives, our activities, policies in this country? Are we ever able to gauge that beyond the fact that for some number of days there's an event which attracts a number of people, a number of exhibitors, and when it's done, it's gone to the following year? Are we able to gauge any gains?
Exactly so. As the name implies, policy and policy phase. How and why are policies initiated and implemented? Basically, policies emanate from issues. We identify problems and we initiate policies to solve those problems. In the first place, Ghana has developed over the years through policies, because we have identified certain areas where we have problems, and we develop such policies to solve those problems. We will say over the years, the policy phase, especially within the last 2 years, we are doing the third one this year, has helped to also solve some of the basic policies. Let's take employment, for example. Out of the policy fair, we have discussed and we've seen that Ghana faces a lot of challenges, especially with regard to youth unemployment. Through the policy phase, we have been able to come out with very beautiful ideas, such as the less debt. We have the youth in agriculture policy that have been implemented over the years, but with an improvement. We have also been able to identify that most of Ghanaian parents face difficulties, especially among the rural folk, because of that. Government has come out with the distribution of free school uniforms, free exercise books, a way to also solve some of these problems. We have also identified that one of the basic ingredients for development is getting information at the right time. Most of our people do not have the right information at the right time. With the policy fair, all the ministries and departments and agencies of government are brought together under one roof, so that whoever gets the right information, and based on that, you make the best decision for your life.
Interesting. The program is structured in such a way that I think that the temptation may be to keep Eric on the NAFCO side, but I don't want to do that. I'm sure you also have some general views on the issue. And so I don't think this is the first time you're exhibiting, is it? Under the policy fairs?
No, this is not the first.
This is not the first.
Yeah.
So, okay. So this is what? Were you at the first one? I know you were there last year.
Yeah, we were there last.
But were you there in 2010?
Yes, in 2010.
You were there as well.
That was when we all started.
Okay, so are you able to also tell me, not NAFCO specific, but I mean basically of what you have seen of it, and what you make of this whole attempt at bringing policy to the people in the form of a fair?
I think in a nutshell, Stephen has said it all, because really information is knowledge, as you know. In this country, you realize that there is so much potential, but obviously because people don't have information, they're not able to tap into it. And so for affairs such as what is going on right now offers, people right to the doorstep of information to be able to acquire the knowledge and perhaps tap into various areas of the economy.
Okay.
And this is what I see for such an event.
But there seems to be some bit of emphasis on Greater Accra, even though we've had two previously and there's a third one. Is there a special reason when perhaps this is best suited to the coordinator? Is there a special reason why it is the national or is it Accra International Conference Center all the time? People thought that perhaps we should be moving further afield, so to speak.
Basically, we have moved. When the first policy fair was organized in April 2010, His Excellency the President of the Republic, Professor John Evans Atamels, directed that the policy fair should not stay in Accra. It must move to their regions for the people at the grassroots level to benefit from it. True to his word, in 2011, after the national one, we moved. The first region was to benefit was a Volta region. We moved to the Volta region. From the Volta region, we went to the Ashanti region. And just recently, in December, we concluded the Northern region one. For 2012, after the national one, which is currently underway, we are moving to the Bra-Ahafo region. After the Bra-Ahafo region, we move to the Western region. From Western, we come to the Central region to Eastern region, then Upper East, and we'll end it at the Upper Western region. All throughout this year. The idea is to let our brothers and sisters at the grassroots level in their regions to also benefit from the concept. So basically, it's not for the Greater Accra region alone. And at the Greater Accra regional level, all the municipal, metropolitan district assemblies are also participating. So it is also extended to our brothers and sisters at this level as well.
NAFCO, is it beneficial to you?
Yes, it is.
How?
It is in the sense that we want people to know what we are doing, and much as we try to spell it out to the public what we do. I think on a forum like the National Policy Fair, people who are interested and who want to know about exactly what we do, the opportunities that it offers to the private sector, will come trooping in to seek for information. And once they get the information, they'll be ready to participate. I mean, for instance, we buy food from Ghanaian farmers as a way of providing them a market. Right. Such a fair will obviously, get farmers to come in and then find out what exactly we do and how we'll buy their food from them if they have it. And I think it's good. Because go right ahead. Yeah, basically, it more or less, brings us out, to the public, for everybody to know exactly what we are doing. That's what many will say, that the farmers you're talking about, most of them are not around here. And in a national policy fair of this nature, where you want to send your messages out to them, you buy food from them, etc., and they are in the western regions and the Ashanti regions and the central regions, particularly, whether it's fishing or farming, etc., but mostly for the farmers who you buy from, I'm sure. Really, how interactive is it for you if they really are your first target, so to speak? Well, like he said, it's not for Accra alone. It's moved into the regions as well. But even have you moved along with them throughout? Yeah, everywhere that Ministry of Agric is, we are there too. So everywhere the fair goes, Ministry of Agric is represented, and NAFCO is represented as well. Right. But in saying that, you must also bear in mind that we're becoming very discerning. You'll be surprised at the level at which information goes to people for, so because everybody wants to know what is the national, policy fair about, and they want to, come around and then see. So yes, the farmers may be in the regions, but, they get information from, the very few who may be able to even come into Accra and witness, the main one at the International Conference Center.
So what do you say to someone who says, really, 2 down the road, a third in the offing, now things would not have been any different if the policy fair did not exist?
Do I take that on?
Well, I don't know if you could. Or in fact, I want to hear both of you on this one.
Okay.
I think, anybody who thinks that without a fair like this, things will be the same.
Yes.
It's not right in the sense that, as I said earlier, information is knowledge. And events like this are supposed to obviously, sell out information. And so for people who want to acquire knowledge, they will move into that direction, find out. I mean, if you sit in your house, it's not everything that you know. If you come out and you want to go and investigate into exactly what is going on around you, you go there and you get a better insight from people who are specialists in the area. They give you the information, and you can use that to form your opinions, or perhaps use that to assist you in whatever you do.
Let me put it.
So
Okay.
it's never the same for anybody to say that if not for the fair, things will be the same. No, the fair is making an impact. It's definitely getting people to be aware of events happening around them.
Stephen,
and they'll definitely want to tap
about
into
that.
it and make it useful for their lives.
Sorry, I thought you had finished. Stephen, I know you want to answer the same question. I'm not taking you away from it. But some will say, we see a lot of programs on television, on radio. We know the impact of those, all those features that are seen, etc. And that those perhaps may even send the message farther than this. You definitely, I expect, will disagree. But is there any merit to this argument?
Definitely. As we rightly said, from TV, from radio, from others, the people hear. But we ask, do they have the opportunity to query it?
Okay.
Do they have the opportunity to give feedback?
Okay.
The policy fair provides this. At the policy fair level, people interact with chief directors or directors at the various ministries. For example, somebody in my village would think that getting a passport, you have to go and see a connection man before he gets a passport. Somebody would think that to enter the Army, the Ghana Armed Forces, to enter there, you have to pass through somebody who also knows another person. But at the policy fair, the Ghana Armed Forces, the Ministry of Defense, have their stand there. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs have their stand there. You go there directly, interact with them. How do I acquire Ghanaian passport? They give you the information. You move directly to go through the process instead of passing through another person. So directly, it's different from somebody giving you information, because you get immediate feedback. Apart from that, at the policy fair level, we have dialogue sessions where experts share opinions on some of our developmental issues. Over there, while you think you don't have adequate information, you can also query the situation, even critique it in order to also get adequate feedback on that. Don't forget, I just mentioned that basically today's dialogue sessions will discuss how Ghanaians could benefit from the current economic dispensation. Although we have moved to a certain level, but the question that we'll ask ourselves is, has that level benefited Ghanaians? How do we also go to that level? Then people can query the system, and based on that, they can make informed decisions as well. That's what I wanted to add to what my brother has just said. Thank you.
Some say that it's actually riding on the back of the taxpayer, because the resources come from the taxpayer anyway. And that for the taxpayer, really, is there any direct benefit? Information may be good, as you agree. Information is disseminated in so many ways. As you say, how are people able to get a feedback, and that offers them a direct opportunity? But if you look at the minutiae of 7,000 or 13,000, as you say, compared to, say, the total population of Ghana, and there are so many people out there, and the people will not move down from northern region, as it were, to come down. You may go there, as you say, and also deal with them. I don't know if the representation will be the same. I don't know if the army will go with you to, say, Tamale or Bolga, if you have to do that. So the national will always be the biggest platform. I'm sure I'm not mistaken about that, even though it's absolutely and all. In that light, and looking at the background, really, directness of benefit, it may be a bit far removed from the people, wouldn't you say?
I don't think so. It may be, but like I explained earlier, yes, these days, people want to know what is going on.
Right.
And Stephen has said it. There are people who don't even know very simple processes. For instance, I want to enroll into the army. I'm not sure. I think that going into the army means that I need to see an uncle who knows a military man, who will be able to connect me. But perhaps it doesn't work that way.
Okay.
Straight procedures. Go there when they announce that they want, people to recruit, go through this process. So if you take the trouble to come over there, you get that information. And that can be very, very useful, to helping anybody who wants to go through that, recruitment process. And I believe that, for the point that you made, as in, is it worth the taxpayers' money? It is, rightly so, it is. Because education, we all know the value of education.
Right.
And this is, to me, part of education that, provides or is provided for the people. Everybody can go in there and learn about what is going on throughout the whole country, I think that it's crucial in the sense that people complain a lot, as in, what can I do? And there may be very simple procedures. You won't get anybody to explain things to you in detail, but if you take the trouble to go there, the chief directors are there, the directors of all the ministries are there, they'll tell you the policies going on, they'll tell you, the steps that you should take, to achieve what you want. And so, I think is a brilliant idea and very worth it, in a sense that for how much we have to spend as a nation to organize this, and the benefits that we can derive, from, the end of organizing this. We should rather, be more cheerful in a way that we're spending our money in the right way.
I know you want to make a point, Stephen. I'll come to you. But just a quick follow-up with Eric. I know that the expense is always easy to calculate. How are we able to assess the benefits?
How are we able to, for instance, assess the benefit of, the thousands and thousands of students that government would have to subsidize for them to go to school? It's the same way. We know that we are training our good graduates. We know we are training our good learned people, who move the country from where, it is right now to the next level, or where it was, to this level. And that's how it goes. So it's the same way. It's the same way. You can't even quantify, the usefulness of education. We all know that it's very useful, but of course, people will go through education and become very meaningful people in society, will help, of course, to, promote Ghana or help Ghana to, raise its standards. People will go and drop out and won't do anything. And so really, you can't wait, but we all agree that it's very important, to educate, ourselves as a nation. And then, as I say, if you think education is expensive, try ignorance, because we all know the cost of being ignorant.
Absolutely. Stephen, your point.
Agreed. I want to deal with the numbers.
Okay.
The figures that I mentioned were basically with regard to fiscal presence.
Okay.
Because, the venues that we select may not be able to contain more than the numbers that I've been mentioning.
Okay.
But the programs are always being live on GTV. So it means, most people will be reached. Apart from that, it's always on the net, live. So people also have access. It's all on Facebook. People have access to that. Then the media also reports on that. So the current dispensation at the media level, everybody would like to know what is happening. So in terms of the majority of Ghanaians who get access to information regarding the policy fair, I know it extends even beyond the borders of Ghana.
Okay.
But the figures I was mentioning related basically to the venue for the program. With regard to the investment, the taxpayers' money.
Yes.
Whatever every investor puts into a business, especially at the end of the day, the investor would like to make profit.
Sure.
Good. So let's look at it from this scenario. Before the policy fair, the ordinary Ghanaian on the street just throws rubbish anyway. Paper, he throws it anyway, without due regard to the impact of it. But after policy fair, the ordinary Ghanaian gets to know that if I throw rubbish out, papers outside, it could generate into it could cause diseases. Maybe malaria, diarrhea, and others can come out.
But that's the question again. That is that awareness created through a policy fair that I should not be throwing rubbish outside of my vehicle when I'm driving, or that I should not litter the community or environment. Is the policy fair the source of that education?
That's the simplest analogy I was making. But for example, as I did say, at the policy fair level, we have Ghanaians come around, we interact. I do a Ghanaian youth comes out. It says I've completed university.
Right.
I do not have employment. I expect government of Ghana to employ me. Meanwhile, the avenues may not be adequate. But at the policy fair level, we will know that the private businessman is there. We can partner the public sector. Out of that, we could create job avenues for the Ghanaian youth. So out of that, we know that the policy fair has created an avenue for people to be informed about the opportunities that we have out there. I was using that scenario for the ordinary man on the street to understand what we mean by the policy fair, so that the policy fair will not look at an academic exercise. It should be a daily activity, ordinary activity, where everybody understands what we want to achieve. It will get to a point we'll move to the rural communities, even organized at the district level, where the average farmer can learn how to even apply simple tools, simple fertilizer, in order to improve production. So out of that, we will say, once we invest, we will by all means reap in excess. So the policy fair indeed has come to also help a lot, because what I can say for now, that out of the Ghana policy fair, there are basic things that anybody at all can mention, especially with regard to the northern region. When we organized the northern regional policy fair, it came out that we can even count all single share better trees in that region through the policy fair, out of the information that we got from there, a way to also develop our system. So out of that, I can also add that somebody said, for lack of knowledge, my people perish. With the policy fair providing the adequate knowledge, government opening up, transparency, accountability, they will know where the taxpayers' money is going and what is being derived out of the policy fair. So I think it is the best that we have at the moment.
Eric, talking about NAFCO and the farmers, etc., I'm sure there are some people there who probably are not accustomed to using a hoe or a cutlass or some machinery or any kind, but are interested in investing in farming. Are there any opportunities for them that
Certainly.
they can come to you and really benefit from?
That's right. I mean, these are some of the things that we explain to people when they come to the policy fair, because as you know, in Ghana we've depended mostly on subsistence farming. We want to move away from that into mechanization. And so, for instance, we have mechanization centers set up. I think it's about 85 of them set up around the country. Somebody may say that, oh, I don't have a tractor, and so how can I go into mechanized farming?
Sure.
If you come to the policy fair and you take the trouble to, come to Ministry of Agri stand, we'll be able to tell you, the nearest mechanization center, that is closest to your farm, and tell you, the pros and cons, as in what you can do to contract them to perhaps do your land preparation for you. So these are some of the things that we are talking about. You go there, you get direct information, and these information can be very useful, help you expand in your business or help you start a business. There are all kinds of, developments going on in this country, policies that are supposed to aid, development programs. But if you don't go there, or if you don't take the trouble to go to the ministries, the difficult or the challenge I see with going to the ministry sometimes to look for information is you go and the director may not be there.
That's right.
But this is a forum that has been set, and all the information is provided, on one platform. So when you go there, you'll be able to get, the exact information before you walk out. And I think, that's the whole beauty of, the National Policy Fair. Because I mean, supposing you go to Ministry of Finance today and then you want to know about a PPP, the director may not be there. You may meet somebody who will give you a part of the story.
And that's what public-private partnership.
Partnership, that's correct, yeah. You may meet somebody who will give you a part of the story, but may not give you all the information because he doesn't know. But in the case where you go to the policy fair and you want to know what the PPP is about, I mean, there are people there to give you a complete explanation of what the PPP is about. So that is why we say that people should be encouraged to go in there to seek for information, because they'll get what they want.
For benefit of those who may generally not be able to come, and just as a quick follow-up, are you saying that if someone wants some tractor or some equipment and is unable to, say, purchase it or find a means of leasing one or whatever, that exists opportunities through the policy fair for them to actually lay hands on one? Is that what you're saying?
No, what I'm saying is that a policy fair offers the platform for people to get information. And they know exactly what steps to take, to achieve what they want. Because chances are you go to the ministry and the person, who may be in charge of giving you that information may not even be there at the time that you go.
Right.
So these are, I'll say, challenges that we know that generally people have. Because for instance, I meet a lot of people who ask me several questions about, what is going on in the ministry, and I always want to try and then help them, directing them to where they should go. They go there and maybe the person has traveled, he's on a duty somewhere, they didn't meet them. It can be frustrating. But it's a forum where if you go, you definitely get everybody there, because it's been designed, to have everybody there to answer, or in other words, help people, who have come there to seek information.
Stephen, what I'm trying to find out is that, fine, we may get some answers, but really, will those answers lead to benefits? Because at the end of the day, it's that which you can feel or get physically and practically, that's of greatest essence. Because if at the end of the day, someone will hear, well, you need to go to a bank, you need to speak to the bank, you need to take your collateral, you need to find out whether you have it or you don't have it, you need to know whether you can pay the huge, as what some have called an outrageous interest rate that we have in this country, which we've had for some time, and which we keep questioning and all that. If you're going to be getting that kind of regular information, then it may be difficult. Because some people also have the view that this is meant to be a benefit center, so to speak, and that I will get information that is of benefit to me. Okay. How realistic is that expectation? Okay.
The reality here is that it's not one way affair. You don't get it and you go away. You get inquiry, then you get further answers. So the opportunity for you to move from one level to the other. Even assuming they mentioned you go to Ministry of Agri, they say, yeah, we can provide this opportunity. This what you can do to plant, do this to harvest, do this to even sell. At the end of the day, the person gets that level, he gets to know that the financial level, if he moves to the Ministry of Finance, he can easily get that. From the Ministry of Finance, he can also get to the next level where trade and industry can also access. All these departments and agencies have been brought under one roof. Okay. So just within a matter of 10 minutes, 15 minutes, you get all this. It is different from moving to the Ministry of Education, Ministry of Agri, drive your car to the Ministry of Finance, then to Ministry of Trade. So you could see the differences are there.
As they say, one-stop shop.
One-stop shop.
Everything is there for you. Okay, so let me start this segment with you, Eric, and maybe let's do NAFCO again in a different way, as we've been prompted to do. Benefits from NAFCO directly. If I were to come to your stand, and you are the Ministry of Agriculture, as you've said, and you are there, what can somebody's coming basically for the National Food Company? They are interested in food. You are the company for that. What can they get from you if you are the only reason why they are coming to the fair?
Well, first of all, we'll explain to them what exactly we do. What we do, NAFCO holds strategic food reserves for the country. And we also sell food to state institutions. I mean, we identify state institutions as our market, but we go beyond that if we need to. By so doing, we also provide a market for all Ghanaian farmers.
Permit me to slow us down a bit on there, so we just get a clarification. You said first you hold food.
Strategic food.
What does that mean?
Strategic food reserves. That is food that government believes that it must hold at all times for when there are any eventualities. For instance, if there are any displaced people in the country. We know last year, for instance, it rained and the people, some part of Eastern region, Etiwa and Fanchakwa, there were serious problems where people were displaced. We had to, carry food to them. The Bagri Dam in the north, when the Burkinabe is open, the Bagri Dam, what it does to the whole area. And so these are, foods that government hold at all times. And when there are any crisis, at least we can dip our hands into it and then, use that to, as it were, ease up the problems.
Are there any particular food stuff, so to speak, that you hold?
Yeah, grains, mainly grains. Rice, maize, soya.
Okay.
These are the foods that we hold.
Okay.
And so that is the strategic food reserves.
Okay.
And then we also sell food to state institutions.
Which institutions, such as?
School feeding programs, secondary schools, government hospitals, and so on and so forth.
Right.
In a way, we are promoting, made in Ghana food because it's important to us that we use that as a way of providing market for our Ghanaian farmers. Because what we do is that we buy food from Ghanaian farmers. And if we do that, it means that we are promoting them. Because if you have a business and then somebody offers you a direct market, it means that a person is promoting you.
Okay.
Right. So if you come to the stand and then you want to find out, you know, what I'll say area of our chain that you know you want to tap into. If you're a farmer and then you want to know how we can buy your food, we'll explain that to you. We have under us 75 licensed buying companies. We have appointed these companies to go to farm gates and then buy food from, you know, our farmers.
Okay.
Now we have what we call the minimum guarantee price,
Okay.
which is what guides them to buy from our local farmers. The reason why we've set the minimum guarantee price is also to ensure that we protect our farmers. Because the last thing we want is to encourage our farmers to produce, and when they produce, we offer them less than their production costs.
Okay.
I mean, it kills their you know, drive to produce again. And so the minimum guarantee price takes into account the cost of production with just a little margin profit for the farmer. So the farmer at all times know that if they cannot find market, they can turn around to NAFCO and then sell to us through our licensed buying companies. Our licensed buying companies, they can also serve as even extension officers, because we have also given them specification as in how they should treat the food, because food, as you know, is delicate. And so they pass it on to the farmers, trying to tell them, look, this is the way you treat maize when you harvest it. This is the way you treat rice when you harvest it, and so on and so forth. You know, so again, even along the line, there's also knowledge sharing, you know, which I think goes to benefit the farmers as well as the end user, we who consume the food. If you come to the fair, these are things that we'll explain to you. So you can take advantage, for instance, if you want to become a licensed buying company, you know, when we open up, you know, invite interested people to apply, and then you can apply. If you want to go into farming, if you're doing your business projections, at least you know that, you know, NAFCO will purchase my food if I go into maize production.
Okay, and I will have this minimum price, etc.
Exactly, to guide me.
Let's
so
introduce the NYEP coordinator into the discussion. Suleiman Abdul Mumuni is on the line. Good evening to you, sir.
Good evening, my brother, and good evening.
I hope, can you kindly position yourself a bit? Okay, all right. The warning was always there that the line was about to trip, and in Ghana, I think. Okay, hello.
Okay.
Oh, you're here. Okay, all right. Basically, let me just ask you what the NYEP has on offer, so to speak, at the policy fair.
Thank you so much. I think NYEP was introduced in 2007 as a stepping stone for our teeming youth in the country. I believe those who have just completed their SSS and other people to get something to while they are preparing themselves to further their education or to get permanent employment. So NYP in general, I would say, is a stepping stone to a youth is coming.
All right. So, what is your focus at the fair in particular? What is your focus?
Our focus is to show what we have done at least for the past 4, 5, 6 years ago, just to show to the world, to Ghanaians, what NYP have done so far to socioeconomic in the country. So that is our focus for now at this particular policy fair that we are witnessing.
Okay, and can you summarize for me some of the highlights of those achievements that you will be telling people who come there? Can you just give me a heads up of it, so to speak?
Yes. In fact, as I'm speaking, we are running about 14, 15 modules under the NYEP.
Mm-hmm.
One is the teaching for the health extension workers. the dressmaking, and then the hairdressers and other models. The good news about NYP now is not just to even engage people as teachers or hairdressers, as teachers or nurses or the few that we have been calling them. But what the NYP is doing now is to give the people the skills so that they can be on their own start the training. So we have trained so many people, over 30,000 youth in the country as dressmakers, hairdressers, and so on and so forth. So this is what we are also showing to the Ghanaian public and then the world, that this is what we can also do as a program to motivate, to give our people the permanent or the work that each and everybody wish to do, so that by the close of the day they can also contribute to the socio-economic of the country.
Will people also get to know how, youth in particular, how they can benefit under this? Because you'll be surprised.
Yes.
Okay, right.
Yes. It's very simple. You just go to the NYP district head office and ask or anybody in charge of that particular office and pick up your phone. And so we have an application form. So in that particular form, you indicate what you want to do.
Okay.
If you want to learn a trade, you put it there. If you want to do teaching, you put it there. So, and it's free. You only walk to the district office and you go and take the form. It's free. No cost, nothing. So after filling form, it's a chain of command. So after filling the form, the district officer also will inform his boss at the regional office. This is the number of applications that I have. So as soon as the green light begins, then the program starts. So let me come specifically at the district level. If we have about 1,500 people are interested going into the hairdressing, we only give them the master trainers, maybe 5-10 master trainers, share among the start training. So after 6 months, you are done. Of have experience, so at least by 6 months, you're supposed to do something on your own. So after 6 months, then maybe the NYP will come back and come and see your performance, and then give. We are not only training even the beneficiaries. After the training, we give them the logistics. We give them the tools so that they can also start up from there.
Okay.
So this is what.
Final question to you. I know there are going to be some dialogue sessions. I have some of the topics here. Can you tell us what these dialogue sessions will cover, who the speakers will be, and what the aim is?
Hello, please come again. The line is shaking, so I'm sorry. Come again, sir.
That's fine. I was asking you about the dialogue sessions.
Yeah.
And I know some of the topics are mobilizing the youth for national development, meeting Ghana's energy current status, etc. Are you able to throw a little light on that for us, the dialogue sessions, and who will be participating, who will be speaking?
Yeah, for now, because of certain reasons, no.
For certain reasons?
Yes.
You're unable to comment on the dialogue?
No.
I see. Okay, maybe.
Yes,
I assume it's because things have to be firmed up. But I will say a big thank you to you, Suleiman Abdul Mumuni, National Youth and Employment Program Coordinator. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank you so much. I also appreciate your effort. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, you're welcome. Bye. I know we have some text messages coming in right now. Perhaps we should begin to take some of them, because the whole of last week, you know that the internet played some games on us. Suale Tahiru says, one of your panelists made mention of LESDEP. I want to know the full meaning and the year in which it was established. Okay, I'm sure that mention was made by Stephen, I believe. Local Enterprise and Skills Development Program, I believe, is what LESDEP stands for. He wants to know a bit more about it and what year it was established. And are you able to throw some light on that? On LESDEP?
Definitely. Yes. Okay, definitely when the opportunity comes, we'll share a view on that.
No, that's the question. You can respond to it right away.
Okay. With the local enterprise and skills development, I think one of the basic things that came I will have explained it is that each day, as we mentioned it's policies are developed in order to solve particular problems. we found out that most of the Ghanaian youth were unemployed.
Okay.
And we felt we should find a way of helping them to unearth their skills, and not just unearthing their skills, we create the opportunity for them so that out of that they could also develop them further. So the LESDA program, as we have said, trains the Ghanaian youth, provide them the basic tools that they need to work with, the basic capital, so that out of that they can set up their own businesses and even employ their own colleague youths.
Interesting. Do you know when it was set up? Immediately? Or is something we have to check up on?
Definitely, it's something that I have to check.
Okay, all right, but I'm sure that should be enough of an answer for you, Sule Tahido, my friend. And let's move on to the next one. Peter Sitofe Doche asks, can the policy fair help to finance capital for the poor Ghanaians who all have ideas and plans to open businesses, or to add information to the numerous ones we already have? Quite loaded. Wanting to know whether it can help to finance capital for the poor Ghanaian.
Okay.
People have ideas, people have plans to open businesses, people want to add information to all the numerous ones they have, but finance and capital for him, for Peter, is the question. How would the policy fair help to bring this about?
Definitely, the policy fair does not provide the funds for the, but the policy fair creates the avenue, the opportunity for you to know where you can locate the avenue.
Okay.
For example, the policy fair brings businessmen together, they bring the public sector together. So through the interaction, we will know that this agency is there, or you get closer to them, they will be able to provide the needed capital for you.
Okay. Adumako Job, we pray this fair will yield good results and will not be mere paperwork. Okay. Sami says, or he asks, what is policy fair when people are dying at the BNI? Okay, all right. I don't know about your question. I'm watching Kusikweku says, it's just mere information. At the end of the day, nothing better comes out of it. I think the agency should walk the talk after the policy fair. That's what I'm watching. Okay, all right. So I guess those are some of the. So let me come to you and ask you really about I'm sure it's quite an important side of things, the dialogue sessions. Are you able to tell us who's speaking, what the topics are? And I'm sure it will also capture some attention to make some people come to the venue.
Definitely. The dialogue sessions began today, this afternoon.
Okay.
Between 2 o'clock and 4 o'clock, the first dialogue session was held. And the issue that we dealt with was taking full advantage of Ghana's economic gains to transform the Ghanaian society. We had the Honorable Deputy Minister for Finance, Mr. Fifi Kote, and Dr. Joe Abe from SEPA dealing justice to that issue, and they were basically well handled. The session was moderated by Mr. Kwame Pepra, the board chairman of the Senate. Tomorrow, Tuesday in the morning, the first dialogue session will begin at 10 o'clock, and the issue to be considered will be meeting Ghana's energy needs, current status and preparations for the future. We'll have Dr. Joe Otinaji, the Honorable Minister for Energy. They will have Mr. Guzitano, a consultant, also handling the issue. The session will be moderated by Dr. Kwabna Donko. Then in the afternoon, between 2 o'clock and 4 o'clock, we'll have what we call promoting the creative arts to accelerate national development. We'll have Mr. Kwaku Sinti Misa, KSM. We'll have Mr. Baiskufo, that's Obo, the president of Musica. We'll have Mr. Kusichi Dakwa, KKD, and Madam Sherry from Manso also handling the issue. The session will be moderated by the Honorable Ekuasena Danswa, the Honorable Minister for Tourism. Then on Wednesday in the morning, we'll have as a dialogue, all we must know about the 2012 general elections. And the issue will be handled by Dr. Kojo Afarijan, the chairman of the Electoral Commission. And the session will be moderated by Mr. KB Asante. Then in the afternoon, that is the issue that you concentrated on, we'll have as a topic for discussion, mobilizing the youth for national development. And we'll have as our speakers, Honorable Deputy Minister for Youth and Sports, Dr. Edward Omane Boama. There we'll have Mr. Roland Agambri of RAG fame, and the session will also be moderated by Mrs. Sednam Tamakro Atienu, the coordinator of the National Youth Authority.
Okay.
Then on Friday, that will be the last in the series of the dialogue sessions. The Friday have been designated as Infrastructure Day. In the morning, emphasis will be on the roads and the health sectors of our economy. So we'll have Honorable Joe Gidisu, the Minister for Roads and Highways, and Honorable Aban S.K. Baben, Minister for Health, also handling the issue. The session will be moderated by Mr. Ben Efson. Then in the afternoon, our focus will also be on education and the transport sectors. So we'll have Honorable Lee Okran, the Minister for Education, then Mr. Sam Garba, the Administrator of the GET Fund, and Honorable Collins Dauda, the Minister for Transport, also handling the issue. And the session will be moderated by Professor Jean Nana Ajiman, the Vice Chancellor of the University of Cape Coast. Then the Friday, I said the last in the series, Friday, there's one unique aspect about the policy fair for this year. You see, we have found out that before a nation develops, it must start from the home. And one identifiable thing is that when our families begin to develop, then the nation will be easy to also develop. So we'll have as a topic for consideration, we'll say a healthy home, a healthy nation. The session will be handled by Reverend Dr. Sam Kisidu. He's a Ghanaian but resident in the USA. And the session will also be moderated by Madam Esther Koba from Stratcom, Africa. Then in the afternoon again, Reverend Dr. Kisidu will also come, but he will this time handle the issue on principles of pursuing family excellence. And the session will also be moderated by Dr. Christine Amakunyama, a presidential advisor. So the final day of the policy fair, that will also bring the curtain down on the third Ghana Policy Fair, is also designated as Tourism and Cultural Day, where the Ministry of Tourism and the Ministry of Culture will showcase Ghana's rich cultural heritage as well. Thank you.
That's a very full program, packed. And the venue is the
Accra International Conference Center.
That's important because I'm sure if a lot of people will be interested in one or two of these, or some maybe all of them,
definitely,
and would like to go there. So the sessions begin at what time and end at what time?
The session begins at 8 o'clock. The normal exhibition of the policies and projects and programs continues immediately. The normal office hours from 8 o'clock, but the dialogue sessions begin at 10 o'clock. The first dialogue begins at 10 o'clock and ends at 12. The second dialogue session begins at 2 o'clock and ends at 4 o'clock.
Okay.
But the policy fair, the daily time for the policy fair, it begins at 8 o'clock and closes at 6 p.m.
Okay.
Each day.
All right, great. Eric, I had to bring in the NYEP, and so I realized that I kind of forced you to a conclusion quickly. We are about to go. We should be summing up, and basically you're talking about what benefits you'll bring. I'm sure you've thrown a much clearer picture on that as far as your outfit is concerned and all of that. What will be your concluding remarks basically on your outfit as well as the general program itself?
Well, first of all, I think that I will encourage the public to take advantage of this policy fair and go find out information, useful information to be precise, that will help them in whatever they want to do. I know that people send text, for instance, saying that they have ideas and what they want is money. Sometimes, you don't realize that your ideas may be sitting on a very weak foundation. When you go there, you'll be able to perhaps strengthen it by getting the direction that will actually help your ideas get the proper foundation that you need, to get going. Money is not all about, I'll say, the way to start up a business. Getting the right information, can be very useful. And the right information can lead you to the money also, because there are also people who may come there and may be looking for smart ideas to invest into. And so the policy fair might give you the opportunity to meet people who also have the money, but are looking for the right ideas. And then, somehow you bridge up and then you start something. So I will just urge everybody, to find time and then go there and then, seek for the right information.
Great. We'll take your final comment, Stephen.
Yes. What I would like to say is that it will take you days to get the right information. It will cost you a lot of money to get the right information. It takes a number of days for you to visit Ministry of Education, go to health, go to energy, go to transport. But the policy fair provides that avenue. It solves that problem for you. Within a matter of minutes, 30 minutes, you can visit as many as 23 ministries, departments, and agencies. It will take you days to make contacts with businessmen, contact with the public sector to see the areas that you can invest. But the policy fair also makes that avenue for you, creates that opportunity for you. At the policy fair, you can easily visit each stand, know the opportunities in the agri sector, opportunities in the health sector, opportunities in the energy sector. So within a matter of minutes, you know the right and virtually free policy fair. You don't pay anything. So everybody is invited to patronize it. Thank you.
Thank you too. We have to take some final text messages here. I think Anita Conchuo says the policy fair is about just how to enrich people's pockets, nothing more, nothing less. Waste of money. Talk about the bloodbath happening in Akanda and how ECG is operating in Ghana. Thank you for your view. It remains yours. Abdul Ryan Kofi Malba. Is this national policy fair addressing the challenges of the Ghanaian youth through job creation, or is it just merely a dissemination of information? That's all time will allow us for. Special thanks to my guests tonight. Stephen Blay is the coordinator of the third Ghana Policy Fair from the far end of the table. Thank you for coming. Really on top of the issues in your area, without a doubt. Eric Osewusu, Chief Executive National Food Campaign in NAFCO, of course, making a second appearance on this show. Definitely very, very on top of it. I'm sure we'll have reason to discuss this in detail sometime, not away from the policy, but NAFCO itself, so we can look at all the issues and break it down. And special thanks to the NYEP coordinator, Suleiman Abdul Mumuni, who joined us on the telephone line, and to you for watching. Of course, you are our most precious resource, and for sending us the text messages.